In December 2007, Kenya faced one of the most uncertain periods in a long time. However, the events that unfolded on that dark day, December the 30th, 2010, events that have led to today's date with destiny for the 6th, may have been pinned on a series of events that happened in the not-too-distant past, which may have been a catalyst for the December 2007 events. The 21st of November 2005 referendum on a proposed new constitution, popularly known as the Wako draft, was largely peaceful and orderly. However, a larger part of the society, including the ruling National Rainbow Coalition (NAC), was split over the vote. Many cabinet members were prominently on the no side, a side that carried the day in the vote with a 58% majority. This win was seen as a vote of no confidence in the government. The enduring legacy of the outcome of that first referendum was the bitter political fallout that followed, which, in the opinion of many analysts, sowed the seeds of the 2008 post-election violence. Shortly after losing the referendum vote, President Kibaki dismissed his entire cabinet in a bid to reassert his political authority and deal with those who were thereafter considered as rebels in government. The only member of the cabinet to be spared a midterm exit was the Attorney General. As expected, the final list of those who were to serve in the cabinet did not include the so-called rebels, and eventually those who were kicked out, a majority of whom had been on the orange team, formed a political outfit in preparation for the 2007 vote. At that time, politics in the country took an us versus them look, a mood that was building up as the country neared the 2007 general election. The rest of the script was played out in the aftermath of the 2007 polls. When Kenyans turned up to vote on that 27th day of December, they did not know that later that night the country will record one of the darkest hours in history. After the results of the polls were announced, violence broke out in several parts of the country, a violence that took various forms. At the end of the 2 months, more than 1,000 lay dead and hundreds of thousands of others left homeless and destitute. Under the backing of the United Nations, the European Union, the African Union and the United States, a group of eminent persons led by former United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan was eventually called in to broker a peaceful solution, a deal that saw, if anything, a fragile and uneasy power-sharing government formed. After Kibaki and Raila signed the National Accord, formally ending the political stalemate and agreeing to share power on the 28th of February 2008, it was that handshake that signaled the end of the unrest.
The job of national reconciliation and national reconstruction is not for the leaders alone. It must be carried out in every neighborhood, village, hamlet of the nation.
Kenya has room for all of us if we can enhance peace and tolerance. Various legislation that are called for in this agreement are enacted as quickly as possible so that we can begin the task once again of nation building, that we can begin the task of reconstruction.
The power-sharing agreement also recommended a commission of inquiry to be set up to investigate the violence, and this led to the Commission of Inquiry on Post-Election Violence, popularly known as the Waki Commission, and headed by Justice Philip Waki. The commission released its findings in October 2008 after a 3-month investigation and called for a special tribunal to try various alleged perpetrators of violence. In the absence of a special tribunal, the Waki Commission recommended that a sealed list of those believed to have borne the greatest responsibility over the violence be turned over to the International Criminal Court. The government on 3 occasions intended to set up a special tribunal to try those responsible for the violence, but so far attempts to establish a tribunal have stalled. With Kenya being a signatory of the Rome Statute, the International Criminal Court had to come in. On the 9th of July 2009, the prosecutor of the International Criminal Court, Luis Moreno Ocampo, received from Kofi Annan a sealed envelope and supporting materials previously entrusted to Annan by the Waki Commission on the Post-Election Violence. The envelope also contained a list of names of people believed to have borne the greatest responsibility for the violence. Sheila Sendeyo, Citizen TV.